Hola, 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 amigos, amigas, and everybody in between. I'm your girl, Miriam Simon. Welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. So, you know what? When other kids were going to the zoo, I was going to visit my father in jail. And one of the women who taught me the most about standing my ground was my father's mistress, who was living down the hall in apartment 15 while I lived in apartment 17. I didn't realize back then that those moments would later shape how I showed up in leadership, conflict, survival, and success. So, this episode is about growing up around instability, learning to survive emotionally. What happens when you become successful before your family does, and why some of us still feel guilty for thriving. Some of us learned emotional intelligence, negotiation, and resilience long before corporate America called them leadership skills. So other kids had what was considered normal childhood experiences: going to school, having lunch packed by their parents, having a mom and a dad, having, support, people coming to cheer you on when you get your awards, your certificates. While guess where I was? I did not have my dad around. I was going to visit my father in jail. Chaos, instability, emotional tension, all of that became normal to me. He was in and out of jail my entire life. And that's actually where he is today. And I learned how to read rooms really early on. I mean, I learned survival before strategy. So as a kid in survival, I became hyper aware because I needed to know when the energy was going to shift. I learned when I walked into my house from school, I knew when things were not good. I knew when things were going to go left, and it was really chaotic. There was either an argument going on or an in and out type of thing where you just never know who's in the house, who's not in the house, if he's there, not there. And I had a bunch of brothers and sisters. So there was always a lot going on. And I learned how to protect myself emotionally. It's almost like you can't even feel your feelings. And I'm just recently learning that I recognize now that I am very, in corporate America, people always say to me, damn, like you're really good under pressure. You are so calm and collected when things go wrong, when things go left. And that's because I couldn't go fucking crazy. Like, I could not go and yell. If I was the one that went nuts, then I was the one that was going to get in trouble. I was the one that was going to see the negativity happen to me. And my mom did a really good job of trying to protect me. But at the same time, I was always advocating for her because I was the oldest. So it was really hard. I mean, there was always something going on. And I learned how not to cry when something was wrong. I learned that, I always was talking back and yelling because I thought it was wrong and I didn't like it. And so that's where my advocacy comes from now at work. And that's why I'm not afraid of going against the grain. And really, my going against the grain is standing up for good, because sometimes people can't see the decisions or the impact of their decisions because they're freaking new or haven't done it yet. So they're inexperienced, and I know what it's like. So I say, hey, I don't think that's going to go well. Hey, I don't think that's going to be received well. Hey, well, this and this happened. So maybe this and this should be the decision. Now, I can ask and I can say, right? But if other people just don't want to listen to it, then that's on them. And when they don't, I don't worry about it because it's a decision they made and now they need to stand on their decision. Me, Sometimes you have to be a follower. And that's what makes me a good follower and a good leader. The fact that I can go with the flow and I can know that sometimes people will fall on their face and that's how they learn. And unfortunately, you can't save everybody. And you learn how not to take it personally and how not to be dramatic. Like, I was totally trained by survival. So now I want to ask you, what did your childhood teach you about power? Did you learn safety or survival growing up? Guaranteed so many of you did. What survival skill do you still carry into adulthood? Are there parts of you that were created to protect you, not necessarily to help you thrive? I always talk about how I learned to be invisible. Like, I had to, because otherwise, how else was I going to survive? Like, if I made a peep, it could go bad for anybody in my house. If I created havoc, then, somebody could get hurt. And I didn't want anybody to get hurt. I didn't want anybody to have a bad experience. And that's why now, me being so empathetic and sympathetic about others and what's going on, and I can see when it's coming, and people just don't pay attention. It drives me nuts, but I can only do what I can do. The other people need to go the other way. And I can only give the warning, but if they don't see it, they don't see it. And I don't take it personally because I didn't make that decision. And sometimes I just need to step aside and let people do as they may. And sometimes they fall on their face, and I end up having a front row to seeing it all unfold. So here's the thing. This is what I learned from my father's mistress. So when she moved in with my dad, I was in apartment 17, and down the hall was my grandparents' apartment 15. My father came with another woman, and he brought her to live with them in apartment 15. Apartment 15 was my favorite place to be because that was my grandparents' house. And I was always there. Whenever I'd wake up, I'd go down to grandma's, go have some hot chocolate, go have some Mexican bread, go have some bread with beans. And every weekend we'd have things going on. And my grandparents would always have my aunts and uncles and everybody else over. And so I was just used to being there. And so when this woman came, she tried to tell me one time, it must have been after school, must have been on a Saturday, must have been when I didn't have school. I don't know the exact day of the week or what the hell, but all I know is that I was there. I go over, my grandparents aren't there, my father isn't there, only the mistress is there. So I go into the kitchen and she has the nerve to tell me, why the hell don't you just get out of this house? Like, you go home. And I said to her, bitch, please, I am not going home. I was here before you and I will be here after you. So no, I got here first. There was tension, territorial energy, and displacement, right? So instead of me making myself tiny, the little kid, the child versus the adult, right? Like, I could have easily just freaking started crying and walked the hell out, but I didn't. I talked back and I defended my place. And so this is something that shows up in workplace dynamics. So this is what happens when new leadership comes in. People try to establish control. They try to influence shifts, and some people want others to disappear quickly. So guess who the hell they want to disappear quickly? My ass. And I was just like, Lord. And I really didn't even think about this like until recently. I was just thinking about it this morning. And I was like, damn. Like, that moment, that early experience with the mistress, and how I responded to disque authority is actually what showed me how to defend my place and how to not allow others to bully me and not to allow others to try to step on me and try to just show up and take over. And I was not expecting to go through this at work or go through something similar with people that I'm thinking I'm supposed to collaborate with, I'm supposed to work with, I'm supposed to help, I'm supposed to support. Like, that's my way of working with somebody, right? Like, I'm like ready to go. I'm ready to help. I'm ready to go all in. And sometimes, and this was me who didn't realize that I was super powerful and super influential and super intelligent in my job. I didn't even know. I had no freaking clue who the heck I was and how much I was a person of power and influence. And sometimes that visibility threatens other people. And I didn't realize. And I was like, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, I'm messing up. Oh my God, I have self-doubt. Oh my goodness, this is going on. And then I was like, hell no. Hell no. I know what I'm doing here. I know what my job is. I know that when I work with people, they work with me. I know that I can get things done. I know we can execute. I have the receipts and I have visibility up the wazoo. If you don't have visibility and you don't have those receipts, it's easier for them to take you out. You need to have your receipts and you need to be visible, and your network needs to be so big that they can't F with you. I'm telling you right now, that is what the hell saved me. Because otherwise, you will be lost and you will feel bullied and you will feel ganged up on, and it will not be comfortable for you. And it won't, it's not, right? So standing my ground without abandoning myself, like, that's what the heck I did. Sometimes workplace politics are really unresolved power struggles. Wearing business clothes. I want you, I'm getting the chills just saying that. I want you to think about this, okay? When was the first time you felt like someone wanted to erase your place? I didn't know that's what was happening. They can probably say it's not, but I differ. Do you shrink during conflict or stand your ground? Girl, I was probably 9 years old. I don't know what the hell age I was. I can't remember. All I know is me walking into that kitchen, her telling me to get the hell out. And I was like, bitch, no, why don't you go get a fucking job? You know what I mean? Like, no. And I swear that I have that same attitude. Like, I will leave when I'm ready to leave. I will leave when the right thing comes for me. I will leave when I'm not doing anything wrong. I am showing up. I come to work. I do my job. I do a fucking great job on top of that. And then you want to, like, no, you're going to place me somewhere else to be somebody else's workhorse when I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at and do the job that I'm doing and have tremendous fucking impact. Are you kidding me? Hell no. I'm not going to work somewhere else where I have to start all over and these people are not going to respect me, or they're going to take me out, or that was the plan. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was to do something. To me, it was not bigger and better. If it's not bigger and better, why go there? I know how to make calculated risks, and that was not one of those. I have taken step backs to go forward, and that was not what was happening, right? So sometimes the workplace politics are really unresolved power struggles. I'm getting the chills. Let me tell you how much my father has influenced my life and my leadership. Because we sometimes tend to think about all the negative things that others create for us and how bad it was. But I'm a duality kind of person. I look at both sides of the coin. Okay, I know some days will be tails and I know some days will be heads. And there is always good that comes out from the bad. And this is how I live my life. And this is how I've always seen things. And this is why I am so good at relationships with people. And why sometimes I even get myself in trouble because I think too much and I'm too considerate. And it's not that easy sometimes because other people will take advantage if you're really nice. And sometimes you're so nice and other people will give back. And sometimes you'll receive and you'll get because you give. And it comes back in so many different ways that you never expected. But here's the thing. I recently did a meditation in my Casa de Chingonas. One of them, Rosalind, she's so freaking good. I'm going to put her TEDx in the show notes because I want you to hear her TEDx. And she took us through a meditation. I had no clue it was going to be about money. And because we normally have like a little bit of a surprise element in Casa de Chingonas, nobody really knows what we're going to talk about. But we show up, and every time we show up, everybody shows up, everybody participates, and we come out like brand new people, released, refreshed, connected, grounded, all kinds of things. And so let me tell you what I saw when the question was to see money sitting in front of you on a chair. And what I saw, first of all, the room that I walked in, okay, wasn't this beautiful room that I currently have, or beautiful home with nice plants, nice chairs, colors are modern, right? Sleek, gold, none of that. It was dim, gunky, old, plain, almost dirty kind of location. The chair was a metal chair. Guess where the hell I was? Can you guess? Jail. That's the meditation I walked into was freaking jail when they asked me to go into this place. Then the money that I saw, they said, oh, money is going to be placed in front of you. How do you see it? Holy smoke. This is how much of a reggaeton fan I am. I saw J Balvin, his green from the Colores video where he goes to the edge by the pool and he sees the pot of gold and the leprechaun. That's literally what I saw was gold coins, which means like abundance. Now, I had to translate with Rosalind all the meaning of all of this, but I'm going to walk you through it so you can see what the heck I saw. And then she says the gold disappears. The money is going to, well, to me it's gold, but she says the money will disappear. Who appears once it disappears? My father showed up. And it was a moment of clarity for me because I'm like, holy shit, I'm at the next level of my life. And I keep thinking, like, what the heck is holding me back? Why can't I move forward? And the reality is that I subconsciously fear outshining others. And I have guilt around being so successful. I have guilt over having money, having a nice home, having a good family, having a great partner, having great children, having a great job, having fucking money, and being able to experience the world at this point. And my father is locked up, has no freedom, no money, only whatever is sent to him, and only what's available to him in that jail cell. What? Holy shit, right? When you make these types of realizations and you realize this is an ongoing dilemma that a lot of us are experiencing because a lot of us are doing way better than our parents. It's the 100% truth. So many of us are doing so much better than our parents. And yet, it's hard to move on. It's hard to have more, right? Even if you want to give back, sometimes it's not that easy. They don't accept you for who you are. They don't understand your choices. They criticize you. They don't freaking acknowledge your fucking success. I see that over and over and over and over and over again with so many successful people. They judge you, criticize you, instead of acknowledging the fact that, wow, you accomplished that. Let's go. Let's be supportive. And there's others too who are very supportive and are there with their kids and are like living the dream and living it together. Like, I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I don't have that. It's not my experience. It's not real to me. And there is a real fear of surpassing your family. And there's an emotional loyalty to freaking struggle. You know how long it took me to feel comfortable with not being in survival mode? I was so used to being in survival mode that chaos felt good. Like, I was used to, like I told you, I do not break under pressure. I get emotional talking to you all, and that's here because I'm talking about real shit. But when I'm at work, and that does not compare. And that's the other thing that people don't freaking give acknowledgement to, is the fact that you've been through some hard shit. Some of you have been through some hard shit. And that's why when you go to work and you have shit that they think is a big fucking deal, you're like, that's not that big of a deal. That I've been through worse. There's been so much worse that this is nothing. So let's just deal with it. Let's just confront it. Let's just go with it. Like, that's power. That is very powerful to know and be able to have that resiliency that other people have no freaking clue about. They don't know what problems are. They don't know what it's like to struggle. They don't know what the hell it is to survive. They're kind of just experiencing it now. So that's why they're blowing up. They don't talk to you. They avoid you. They don't know how to do things. They're like, they stand behind you, actually. I just had that happen to me this week. People are standing behind me, literally asking me to do something they can't do themselves, right? And I did it, and I knew the response was going to be a negative one, but I did it anyways because they asked me to. And so if they don't listen to me, I cannot help you. So sometimes they have to see it for themselves. And like they said, right, hindsight is 2020. Well, guess what? I could have freaking told you that. I could have helped you with that, but you didn't listen. So here we are. And here's the thing, right? Sometimes, and to me, that's not shrinking to keep others comfortable. I don't do that shit ever. I thought about it because people were saying, oh, you know, Miriam, just lay low. Just lay low. Don't make any waves. The reality is that I don't make waves. Like, I create impact. And I am not going to dim myself for anybody the hell else, right? And so that's what I'm learning now. And when it comes to corporate America, like, I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to be that person. I'm not afraid to go out there. I'm not afraid, even in my entrepreneurship journey, I am not afraid to go for it. But it is something that is holding me back, is the fear of outshining others. And I had no clue that I was living with that. I had no clue that I was going through that. And sometimes there is an internal conflict around being seen, because sometimes you grow close to people that you end up doing better than them. You end up doing so much more. So I realized part of me still believed that succeeding too much could cost me love. 1000%. And here's the thing, like, some high performing women often, and I see this every day, even with my partner, downplaying achievements. Some of you have achieved great things and you still feel unworthy. You overwork to justify success. You think, if I'm not available at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm not available at 8 o'clock at night, they're gonna see me as not being successful. Hell to the no, people. That shit is burnout. You don't want to be burning out. Do what you can during the hours that you're working, that they agreed, that you agreed that you would be working. Do it and go home and live your life. Over explain themselves. Oh my God, I see this all the time. Like, tell them what you need to tell them, and that's it. I need to call out because I have a personal issue. I am sick. I am taking a sick day, right? Don't go into everything and all the stuff. Like, I say what I need to say, and then let them judge me, let them not accept me, let them think whatever they want to think, because they do, and they'll say stupid shit back to me. Like, oh, even when I didn't need a doctor's note. Did you bring in your doctor's note? Kind of implying that I was lying. No, I didn't bring my doctor's note because it's not needed. But this last time, I brought it in just to prove a point, and not because I was giving in to what they said. Both times were true. It's just that I was like, what? I wasn't expecting that the first time around. If I have the ability to not give people a reason to speak, I don't. So guess what? It sometimes takes you being a bold ass for other people to get the message. And a lot of you have it already. You just don't realize it or haven't tapped into it fully. Or think because other people are questioning you, you begin to self doubt. And that's not 100% the truth. So some of you are really hesitating to fully own your power. I agree 100%. I've seen it. And then others are dimming themselves in rooms where they already belong. Girl, I belong in this room. I know it. I know I belong in the room. I know it. I know I earn my paycheck. And I'm not bragging and making it a big deal or thinking I'm the big shit, but unbelievably, you need to be that way in order for you to be successful, because you have people that are already threatened by you, intimidated by you, and are looking to bring you down. And you cannot allow that to like start picking at your confidence. That's what it feels like when they start questioning and doubting you and asking you 1,000,000,000 questions because they don't freaking get it. They don't understand it. They have no fucking clue. They've never done it before. And you do. They start to hit at you to try to bring you down, to try to break down your confidence. And in the beginning, I'm going to tell you it was working. But then I realized it wasn't working anymore. I said, wait. Hold the hell on, Miriam. What the heck is going on with you? Like, you are not going to let this is that moment again. It's that moment. It's that moment when that mistress came into my life and sat at my grandma's table and tried to tell me to get the hell out. It's that moment again. You need to be who you are and you need to show the F out. One thing about me is I will learn systems quickly. I have a gift to do this, and I have done it. And like we said at Casa de Chingonas, Angela said, she comes in and leaves it better than she found it. I am one of those people too. And guess what? I go all in. When I know that it is worth it, I go all in. And a lot of people that I am advocating for, I go all in for you guys. I know. The results, they come naturally once you understand the assignment. And I make sure that I know what my assignment is. Sometimes they seem basic, but if you know me, you know I'm not a basic bitch. I'm not. You know that. And if you haven't, it's the first time, I'm pretty sure you're getting the message in this episode. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, a lot of you women out there are not the basic bitches. You know it. You know you are powerful. You know you have it. You know you do great things. You know it. Like, own it. Own that. And the level of execution can intimidate insecure leadership. I wrote an article about how insecure leadership is really what's happening. It's not so much like they say toxic environment and this and that. It's insecure leadership. That's the problem. Some workplaces, they end up rewarding mediocrity because excellence exposes dysfunction. So I used to have people tell me that, like, girl, stop doing so much because you're making us look bad. And I'm like, what? Me stop doing so much because you look bad? No, you're just used to doing nothing. Like, you're just used to being basic. You're used to being mediocre. That's on you. That's not on me, right? So what I want you to think about is, do you feel emotionally safe being successful? Have you ever minimized yourself to protect someone else's ego? Girl, I'm not doing that for nobody. What beliefs did you inherit about money, success, or visibility? And do you subconsciously believe thriving will disconnect you from the people you love. That's a hard one. So here's the thing, right? Making it while your parents stay the same, you become educated, your worldview expanded. You're not living in the country, you're not living in this little space, you're not living in your little town. You are expanding, you're moving, you're connecting, and your parents remained emotionally and financially stuck. You still love them. I love my parents deeply. Like, look, this is the result of me saying, like, damn, I want it to be better. But there's grief in realizing you cannot change people who don't want to change. There's real grief behind that. It's so true. And you end up having survival's guilt. And that's where you're successful and they're not, where you have more than them, where you go to see things they never saw. Like, I made that realization this year. I was like, damn, last year I went to so many different places. Like, my mom may never see those places ever. Definitely, for sure, her grandmother never did. My grandmothers never did. That's like, think about that. Some of you have the ability to take them with you and share that. Like, that is such a gift that others like me don't get to experience. Another thing that happens too is you have class mobility, right? So a lot of us have gone from really low class to upper middle class, and you realize, like, whoa, it's a big difference. It's very, how do you navigate those worlds and how do you go back and forward? How do you move through that? Then you have emotional separation, right? Like, sometimes I do need to separate myself, and helping family while feeling unseen. You know, like, I will answer my mother's phone even though she doesn't see me 100%. Like, she doesn't accept who I am. And it's hard to love somebody like that who doesn't fully accept you. It's hard. It's really hard. And so you can deeply love people and still grieve that they cannot fully hold all parts of who you are. And it's 100% what I'm currently living. And there's pain in succeeding while our parents are struggling. There's pain in having opportunities they never had. There's pain in realizing your healing journey may not become theirs. That's really difficult. And it's hard to see because you know that there's so many different aspects of life that you can live in a better way, peaceful way. And some of our family will never get to see that. And so many leaders, you become caretakers in the workplace, you overfunction, you feel responsible for everyone, tie achievement to worthiness, unconsciously try to rescue their family through success, right? Some of us became high achievers because we thought success could heal the pain around us. And here's what I want you to think about. Do you feel guilty living well while your family struggles? Are you trying to save people who don't want to change? Have you confused love with self-sacrifice? What would happen if you stopped carrying everyone emotionally? So here, your survival skills became leadership skills, and hypervigilance became strategic awareness. Adaptability became change management. Emotional awareness became executive presence. Defending yourself became advocacy. Survival instability became resilience. And this is what you did. You became observant, resourceful, emotionally intelligent, strategic, resilient under pressure. But the work now is learning safety after survival. That one was really hard for me. Like, I had to tell myself, I'm safe now. You're good now, girl. Leading without guilt, right? You want to take everybody with you, but you can't. Not everybody's going to come with you. It's hard. Succeeding without apologizing. Like, sometimes you are the one that is going to get there. You are the one that's going to make it. You are the one that they're going to call. You are the one that they want to work with. You are the one that's going to get the business deals. You are the one that you're going to get the contract. You are the one they write on their list to contact. You're sometimes that person. Don't feel bad about it. Understanding that visibility is not betrayal. I think there's a step beyond that. And I see a lot of you struggling with visibility. And I think it's because there's so many things culturally that we were taught. So it's not betrayal. Like, go for it. You can honor where you came from without shrinking yourself to fit inside it forever. We will outgrow our circumstances. If you work for it, if you continue on, if you're persistent, if you're resilient, all of these things that we've learned, you will outgrow it and you will be there. Honor it. Honor where you are. Honor where you came from. I never forget where the hell I came from. I know where the hell. I know that if I lose everything, I'll be fine because of where I came from. I know what that taught me too. And I know how to understand other people because of where I came from. And some of us were raised around chaos and still became strategy. We became leaders before anyone gave us the title. I always say that. You are a leader from anywhere. Doesn't matter. You don't have to have the title, the executive, the leader, the manager. You can be that person. And so, what parts of your leadership were born from survival? Are you still waiting for permission to fully shine? What would your life look like if success no longer felt dangerous? Can you love your family without abandoning yourself? That's a good question for many of you. Can you love your family without abandoning yourself? A lot of you are abandoning yourselves to stay connected to your families. Who are you when you stop apologizing for thriving? Who the hell can you become? Imagine where you can be if you stop apologizing for thriving. Like, I don't apologize for thriving. I don't apologize for what I've built. I don't apologize for how far I've come. Not anymore. And so this episode isn't about blaming our parents. Hell to the no. It's about understanding the emotional inheritance many of us carry into adulthood, into our leadership, into how we deal with money, our relationships, and success. And maybe healing starts when we stop making ourselves smaller to keep other people comfortable. This has been Latina Mic Drop. See you on the flip side.